然后相信大家在听完早上的 keynote 之后，都很想要把自己手上的专案重新让它重构跟重生。在这场我们 session 刚好我们请到了一位讲者，他在 iOS 开发已经有10年的经验。今天他将分享如何让专案重生的经验。让我们欢迎 Mars。
Hi everyone. Good morning. Yeah. First, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Chen Long Lin, and my English name is Mars, just like the planet. I am the front-end team leader at a company with a staff for almost 17 people. And I have been a software developer for almost 10 years. I'm also being interested in learning clean code and clean architecture, and then apply to my current product. 顺带一提 ，Sorry, I have to speak in Mandarin a little. 我今天的演讲会是用英文讲，但是我是台湾人，所以你们可以用中文发问，或者是如果有听不懂的话，我也可以用中文再回答一遍。Okay? In my presentation today, I'm going to show you how to maximize your legacy code in Objective-C Codebase. First, I will begin by showing you how to handle annoying hybrid Codebase. Next, I will show you how to choose the best architecture for your product. And lastly, I will demonstrate how to apply these ideas to your product without breaking any existing features. Okay, here's a little history about the powerful Swift language. In 2014, Apple introduced Swift as another primary programming language. Since then, more and more developers have chosen Swift as their primary language. And there are more jobs for Swift developer as well. This is because there are so many powerful features in Swift. For example, generics and enumeration with associated value, structure and tuples, and so on. When making a mixed language app, it's easy to use Objective-C declaration from your Swift code. However, if we want to access Swift type and declarations from within your Objective-C codebase, we have to make some changes to Swift declaration for it. But the powerful feature we just mentioned will disappear. We have to change the Swift code into Objective-C types, like an S object with add Object-C or Object-C members attributes. And the worst part, the effect is like a virus that infects the rest of the Swift source code one by one. So we have to build up an adapter as a boundary to prevent the infection from going any further. Instead of creating a Swift class with the attribute for the Objective-C and being used by Objective-C and Swift both. We create a pure Swift class first, and then create the Swift adapter with the attributes for Objective-C. The famous library, PromiseKit, also uses this method to support Swift and the Objective-C Codebase. Okay. In the previous part, I showed you how to leverage the powerful Swift language in the Objective-C Codebase. Next, I will tell you how to choose the best architecture for your products. Apple proposed the MVC design pattern, and there are lots of patterns for app development as well. Like most things in programming, there are no silver bullets when it comes to designing an architecture. So how could we choose the best architecture for it? And also avoid the annoying massive view controllers issue in the same time. About the detailed MVC design pattern, please refer to the following section, include Nelson and Andrew's sessions. Okay, let me introduce you the clean architecture. As the Uncle Bob introduced, clean architecture is an attempt to integrate all of these architectures into a single actionable idea. The concentric circles represent different areas of software. In general, the further in you go, the higher level the software becomes. The outer circle are mechanisms, and the inner circles are policies. The green layer is the interface adapter, which should contain the whole architecture of the user interface. Therefore, the presenter and views and controller should put in this layer. However, if your user interface is written in Objective-C, then the use case and the entity will be infected by the Objective-C attributes, like before I mentioned. The MVC design pattern is just design pattern, not an architecture. Therefore, if we put the MVC part to the outer UI layer, and the interface adapter is used an adapter, that will also stop the Objective-C infection. So, what's the way to choose the best architecture? Unfortunately, we still cannot use only one architecture to solve all of the situations. But all of the MVX design patterns could be fit into the clean architecture, even in the hybrid code base for each use case. After showing you how to use your favorite MVX design pattern in hybrid code base, I will show you how to adapt it into your whole app. The whole app is full of features, and each feature could be represented as pages. But how could we mix those together easily? And if they are written in different languages? And what if the pages are implemented with different MVX design pattern? When those features are composed as pages, we navigate the pages one by one. A navigation controller is used to push a new page, or a view controller is used to present a new one. We can take pushing and presenting actions as a link to a new page. Therefore, we are going to wrap those actions as adapters and implement it with a design pattern, the coordinator. The coordinator pattern was first introduced to the iOS community by Soroush Kanlou at NSSPAN Conference 2015. The idea of the coordinate pattern is to create a separate entity, a coordinator, which is responsible for the application's flow. Coordinators create, present, and dismiss view controllers while keeping the view controllers separate and independent. Therefore, the coordinator does not just navigate within pages, and it also could be the adapter between Swift and Objective-C. The view controllers will also be isolated and invisible to each other and could be reused easily. Okay, we know about how to isolate and reuse the view controller, but how about creating an isolated and reusable view components? Netflix introduced the componentization architecture at Joycon NYC 2018. The goal is to increase the view component testability, reusability, and maintainability and extendability. The pattern of the componentization architecture are MVP and MVI. The MVP part means presenter use an architecture to call the view, and the presenter manages the state of the view. And about the MVI design pattern, view file the intent event to the presenter. So, the implementation problems is how to create a UI component, which is also a view with an MVP pattern, and how to handle the intent events from views. Okay, the solution of the first problem is child view controller. We use the view controller as a presenter to control the view and manage the state of the view easily. To create a view controller is very cheap, as we implement the UI components of the there, we use lots of controllers as each sub-views, and it works great. As you can see, we use a lot of view controller for each view component, even for the small button. Each view component is a child view controller. So we just put each view controller to the main view controller. So the view components will be easily reusable. So, as Dad mentioned in his session, integrate your app to modern world. You can reference this session as well. We also use the native notification center to push and receive the events so that the view can post the event to the navigation center. And the navigation center will receive that event and reply those events to the presenter. That's how we implement the componentization architecture. Okay. I think it should be too quick. Here's a little thing I would like you to check out. If we want to create a Swift code base to Objective-C code base for Swift and Objective-C, please remember to create a pure Swift first, and then the Swift adapter for the Objective-C and the Swift. And I show you how to use the interface adapter as the adapter between the MVX design patterns and the use case. Even for the Swift language, in the near future, we can use that to migrate to Swift UI easily. And then I showed you to apply the coordinator pattern and the adapters within pages are implemented in different language. With those adapters, you can migrate your legacy code with Swift with Objective-C to the powerful Swift easily. Therefore, after implementing the clean architecture and the coordinator pattern, the class diagram will look like this. The coordinator depends on the MVX part, and the UI there will depend on the interface adapter. And the interface adapter also depend on the use case, like this. So we use some technique to achieve that, like we create some interface and invert the dependency to achieve the dependency relation. So, as I introduced, the adapters and the isolation will bring your product a new life. And by the way, the reference session will make your session easier. Thank you. So if you have any question,
我们谢谢 Mars 精彩的演讲。那请问各位有什么问题想要提问的吗？可以举个手。
因为我今天你们有讲比较稍微简单一点，好，那投影片可能带得太快，所以时间本来是想提前10分钟，但提前的蛮多的，所以如果有任何问题，或者是刚刚我表达不够清楚的话，或者是有任何细节都可以再询问。So if you want to know any detail about that, yes.
Write test for MVP.
MVP? Okay.
It seems like you use MVP in your main project, right?
Yes.
Because I use MVVM and I know how to write tests to MVVM, but I don't know how to write a test to MVP because it seems like the presenter is they can control the view directly, but it's not what I don't know the detail of this part.
Okay, I will try to answer this. Okay. As the diagram I showed you, the main business logic will be put in the use case layer. So in the whole diagram, the major important parts will be in the use case. So if you implement your UI for different, in different design pattern like MVP, MVVM, I will recommend you can test from the use case part, which means you should test your business logic first. Because the UI layer is the most difficult part to test and maintain. You can do it, but if in general you have limited resources to test, so I would recommend you put your major time and resource for the most important part. So if you want to test the presenter, I think the presenter is handle the presentation logic. So you could test the presenter through the interface because we will put, I didn't show that. If you want to test the presenter, it will implement some like the use case output interface. So you can test through the interface to know the flow or the logic is correct or not. You can mock the dependency and then to test your subject. In every layer, you should mock the dependencies and then test your subject for every test. Before writing unit test, you have to think what the subject you want to test. And then try to mock the rest, especially the dependencies. I hope that answers your questions. Yes.
那关于这个 adapter 有没有就是具体一点的，就是实作的叙述，或者说你在什么情况会用什么方式去做？是利用抽象吗？还是只是做一个包装之类的？就可不可以这方面可不可以稍微具体一点的解释
？OK，我先再重复一次你的问题，就是你的问题是如何去实作 adapter， 在各种状况。OK， 好，the question is how to implement the adapters. Okay, let me go to the previous part. Sorry. Okay. I take this as an example. So, when you want to implement a Codebase for the Swift and Object-C Codebase, usually we will create a Swift to be code in both Codebase. But we have to add some attributes to the Swift. But I think they will weak the Swift features. Sorry， 我应该用中文先回答一次。就是如果我们要做一个 Swift 给 Swift 跟 Object-C code 的话，我们就必须要给原本这边要实作的 Swift 去加上一些 attribute， 让它才能被 call。因为 Object-C 的特性就是它如果要 hybrid 的话，我就要必须加上这些attributes。那加上去之后，它就被限制，它的一些原本的一些功能它就没有办法用。像我前面提到的，像它就必须是 NS object， 它的一些 structure tuple 就不能用。甚至是它一些好用的一些 type， 像 result， 它就不能用了。所以去避免这件事情，那我们就会倾向是先去实做一个所谓的 adapter， 意思是我这边会另外先把所有先把这个 Swift 先写出来，只给他用，你这样想就好了，先给他用的。所以当我要实做让 Object-C 也可以用的时候，让去写一层做桥接。比方说，如果我这边是用那个 result type 的话 ，Object-C 不能用，我这边就直接把它转成像 block 的方式，其实就 closure 了，让它可以用。如果这边是 structure 的话，我这边就写成 class， 这边去 call 它 ，Object-C 去 call 它。所以就是它原本其实只是要把它功能去做一层的转换而已，它中间其实不太需要做其他任何的像逻辑啊，或者是资料处理，基本上不太需要，除非是做那些资料转换跟架构转换这种的。所以像这个是大原则就是我中间要想办法用一层，但这一层要几个 class 其实不知道，因为它可能会用到很多的，像我后面有讲到说，如果这边 Object-C 它有 call 到的任何部分，它其实都必须被转换成像这样一个形式，就叫 Object-C 的 attribute。所以有用到的，它有要用到这边的东西，基本上它都必须要做转换，只是尽量让这一层越薄越小越好，然后让它所有功能都是为了桥接它而做出来的，所以它叫 adapter。那这个是一个大原则，所以如果有兴趣的话，可以去看一下那个 Promise Kit， 它其实就是它的 Swift 其实是写 Promise， 但它为了让 Object-C 可以 call， 它写另外一个叫 Any Promise 的一个应该算是 private class， 但事实上它是要让那个 Object-C call， 所以它还是 public， 所以他在他自己的那个 source code 上面有段 comment 说，虽然这个 class 是 public 的， 但是请不要去扣它。好，请全部都透过 Swift。如果用 Swift 的 Codebase 要去接的话，请用 Promise。如果是 Object-C 的话，采用那个部分的桥接。所以它们部分有点像是我所有功能都做在这边，这边只是做另外一个 class 去桥接出来。实作细节，因为我本来想说，我尽量不要在这边讲code，所以我很多细节会跳过。那包含在做架构的时候，因为我们可能会在原本的页面上面已经有用 Object-C 写完的 UI， 所以我们可能会用 MVP、MVX 这种类似这样的 design pattern 做出来的一些页面了。但我们可能需要新增别的页面或别的功能的时候，这时候我们试着想要把一些逻辑抽出来，写成 use case 跟 entity 的时候，它在中间这一层，所以我们就要把它有点像简化成这样子。最外面这层绿色的是 Object-C， 中间的实作你可能抽出来变成新的时候，你怎么跟原本的去接？其实就透过另外一层 adapter 去接。所以这边接的方式其实也跟我讲的是一样的，就是我就写另外一层的 class， 只是做这一层的转换而已。那转换的方式其实就是我的中间这一层一定会去刚好今天 NG 的那堂 session， 不好意思，我今天很偷懒，就把一些细节全部讲说你们去 reference 那些 session 就好。NG 他在讲那个 view model 的时候，我不知道你们在现场，他在讲 view model 的时候，其实他有讲到说 view model 它可以去用两个 interface input 跟 output 去定义。在 clean architecture 里面，它其实也是做这样的事情。就是我的 use case 这边可能大家看不到或看不清楚的，我的 use case 其实就跟他讲的是一样的，他们都把business logic 这部分拆出两个，一个就是 output， 一个是 input。所以我这边的 adapter 就是去桥接这个 input 跟 output， 所以才会出现就是我最后面讲到的。sorry， 因为在最后面。我最后面讲到的这一层，所以如果你的实作在这边 view 的地方是 Object-C 的时候，你的 use case、你的 entities 是用 Swift 的时候，中间这一层就是拿来做转换的了。否则，就是如果大家有看过那个 Clean Architecture 的话，它会建议是你的所有的就是你的 MVC 的部分应该是写在这一层。对，所以我是把它再抽出来。放到外面来，因为原本的 VC 这边，然后这一层是拿来当 adapter 去做转换。好，困难的地方来了，我要讲成英文。我刚讲好多，哇哦，好，大家会觉得 OK。This should be a challenge. How to implement the adapter? So the major concept is create the major function business logic in pure Swift, and then create the adapter for the Object-C. The major job in the adapter just to transfer the Object-C and the pure Swift. So if we have some result type in the Swift, and the Object-C use blocks. So the adapter will transfer the closure into result. Transfer the blocks to the result type by the closure type. And maybe there's some transform for the object model. So the adapter should be very simple and easy, just for the transformation. Okay, so this is the major concept for the adapter. For example, if you like, you can refer to the promise kit. Okay, you can check the source code of the promise kit, which is a famous Swift library. It creates a pure Swift called promise, and then it creates a class named anyPromise to adapt the pure Swift and the Objective-C, so that the promise kit could be used by Objective-C and Swift. Okay, so if you like to know how to implement it in your design pattern you prefer, you can use clean architecture to do it. If you have some page written in Objective-C, so you would like to add some features and create it by new and modern language Swift, and implement it in the use case and the entity. So you have to adapt Swift and the Objective-C by the there in the interface adapter there. So this there, just like the adapter, to transfer the use case and the UI there. Okay, hope that answered your question. Okay, cool. So, yeah.
I think many of us will encounter a problem that we all have legacy Objective-C code in our project that have probably the core function of our project. Yeah, most of them will be written in Objective-C or C. Yeah, so should we also create adapters for the old Objective-C code to make it more Swifty? Because the new feature and the pages, UI pages, we probably want to use Swift to write it. So when we are using the old or the core functions, we don't want to make it like still using the Objective-C styles to deal with it. And also another question is that do you have any suggestion on the naming? If you create the adapters, probably some class and some class with adapters after the original class name. Yeah, that's my questions.
Okay, that's an interesting question. I'd like to make sure your question is how to naming the adapter class for the Swift. That's cool. Actually, when I want to adapt like the page written in Objective-C, I create some adapter for it. And the naming should be unrelated, because I create some name, the prefix will be blah, blah, blah controller, blah, blah, blah presenter. It can separate those concepts, but it can So I don't know. I don't have to think that the name should be similar. In my case, I think, but in Promise Kit, their case is pretty similar because he tried to build a class adapt to the promise. So he could create any promise for it. But in my case, I just have to implement this there for the Objective-C and the suite. So the class is quite different because I could use any design pattern for it. I can create MVP, MVVM. I don't have to have controller or presenter. It's not like necessary. Okay, so in my case, I don't have to think what should I name this class, make it quite similar or what. Yeah. 我用中文讲一下，就是因为我的 case 来讲，就是我蛮多都是在做这个 adapter 的，所以我比较不需要去想说，那我的命名上面是不是要跟它很像？所以在这个 case 下面，我基本上都是 for 我的 clean architecture 怎么命名就怎么实做，所以我就是直接就是我的 prefix 就是什么什么的 controller 什么什么的 presenter， 所以我命名不需要跟这边是有这么大强烈的关系。那像 Promise Key 的话，它就需要，因为它的 Promise Key 就是它就要建立一个 promise 去让 Objective-C 可以用，所以它弄一个比较像的，所以它在那个 case 下面，它会比较需要这样的事情。对，那所以命名上面，我在这边比较刚好没有那个状况，因为我都比较多在做这个东西。对，希望这样回答。So, did that answer your question?
时间是不是不太够？我可以等下问你。
对 ，OK， 没问题。
好，我们谢谢 Mars 精彩的演讲。然后，如果等一下各位还有什么问题，可以到 Ask the Speaker 的位置上询问 Mars。谢谢大家，请大家给 Mars 一个掌声，谢谢。